Alright, so this is Jesus Christ. Welcome to this video, and thanks for watching this video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on into it. So I'm just going to give you a little demonstration of what I have going on right now, or this little app that I'm working on. I'm thinking about calling it the Vintage Gaming Console Compiler. Okay, VGCC for short. And what this does is it's an app which consists of a suite of toolchains for old video game console systems. And this app, what it does is it simplifies the process of setting up all these game toolchains for you so that you can compile your code so that your code can run on gaming consoles and also on emulators. Okay, so this is the app, but this is pretty much just like the alpha, just to get the boilerplate code going. And this is pretty much just the orchestrator app. I spend most of the time pretty much in .sh or .au3 trying to build the tool chains up. Okay, but this is not what the app is going to look like in the end. The app is pretty much going to be very small. It's probably going to wind up being like that, and you'll be able to move around, of course, like that. You're going to have some options up here, and these are pretty much going to be your buttons. You're not going to need a lot of buttons to build the tool chain. These are pretty much like the primary buttons that you'll be using to build the tool chain. This green hammer right here is going to be used to build the tool chain up. This one right here is just to test the terminal to see if everything works. This right here is the icon or the button that will be used to set the path of the sample that you're going to be trying to build, and this document right here is going to hold the path for the sample that you're trying to build. Okay, so once you go and set that up, that path is going to be saved to this document, which will be saved right here in the makefile path.txt. Okay, and this is pretty much the make button, and this is make clean. This is a purge button. I'm thinking about getting rid of that purge button, and I'm probably going to, transfer this so that you can right click on this hammer button right here, and it'll show up in the context menu. Okay, so when you right click on this hammer button, you're going to have the option to purge the tool chain instead of build it up. Okay, something similar to this. Okay, right now I got that code going on for this play button right here, and for the play button, you pretty much got the options right here to set up your CLI command so that when you do press the play button, it will automatically launch the ROM or the ROM in the emulator, so you won't have to go and search for the files. Okay, so this is pretty much like a mock-up. I mean, not a mock-up, but the alpha or the infant stages of this app, this whole application that I'm working on building right now, because I've been dealing with these tool chains and setting them up, and without this app, it would take you approximately, if you don't have any experience with setting these tool chains up, it could possibly take you days and hours to set up a tool chain, especially if you're new to setting up tool chains and you don't know anything about terminals, terminal usage like bash and bash scripts and shell scripts and everything. Okay, so this application is going to simplify the process and most definitely speed up the process of setting up tool chains so that you can make games that will run on emulators like Super Nintendo emulator, Sega Genesis emulator, the Xbox emulator, and everything. Okay, so this is pretty much the infant stage of this app right here that I have. Again, it's not going to be this big. It's not going to be this big. It's just I only made it like that just so I could get, import or bring in some like buttons and test them out to check to see what code will work with my buttons, stuff like that. But in the end, I plan to keep the app very small because it's just going to be used to build tool chains, set up tool chains, and purge tool chains, making and build up your samples and everything like that. Okay, so this is pretty much just going to act as just a compiler. The app doesn't need to be that big. Okay, I'm pretty much going to keep it that small. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and do some demonstrations. Click on that. These are all of your, I would say, tool chains. You got the Xbox tool chain, 360, Xbox One, PlayStation, all your PlayStations right here, your Nintendo 64, and you could also click on it, and use the arrows to select which toolchain you want to build up. Okay, so I'm pressing the left and the right arrows right now, and it's letting me choose. I'm using the up and down arrows also. So, okay, you get to pick and choose which toolchain you want to work with. Okay, so right now, let's go ahead and build a sample. I'm going to show you how easy it is to build up a toolchain with this app. You know, instead of you having to go and download everything. Everything comes pre-built and already downloaded and set up, so all you got to do is click a couple of buttons so that the toolchain will just automatically, or the app will just automatically run a shell script, and it will automatically set up the whole toolchain for you so that you can build and compile games and ROMs that will run on emulators and most likely jailbroken console systems. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, give a demonstration of the console systems that are, I would say, the most complicated to set up. I'm going to probably do Bandai, Wonderswan, Xbox 360, GameCube. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the Wonderswan first. I'll go ahead and show you that. Wonderswan, okay, so there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and do a 7-zip. Okay, and when you're running these, when you go ahead and click on the this little green hammer thing right there, that's going to pretty much prompt you to choose operating system, and it'll definitely tell you to pick a console system first. Okay, let's say, for example, click here to select system, and you click on that, and it gives you that little message right there. Please select the system before proceeding. Okay, so right now I don't have Wonderswan in here, but again, this is just the alpha or the infant stages of this app, so I gotta pretty much update it and add more to it and everything. Okay, so we got the Wonderswan toolchain here extracted and everything like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and run a okay, I got the build right here. Okay, so the build toolchain. Okay, so if this Wonderswan was actually in this app, what you would need to do is just click that green hammer right there. And when you click the green hammer, if that Wonderswan is selected in here, it would go ahead and launch this build toolchain.exe. Okay, so we'll go ahead and test that out. Let me go ahead and close this terminal because I'm not using this one. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Oops, I'm sorry. This is the Xbox 360. Okay, so we need to go into the Bandai Wonderswan. And, of course, in here you have all of your EXEs. Every single toolchain is going to have approximately 5 EXEs that will be needed to set up the toolchain. You're going to have EXE for building the toolchain, testing the terminal, purging the toolchain, your make, and your make clean. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, some might have more, but mainly all the toolchains have 5 EXEs that will be used to monitor and maintain the toolchain. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set up Wonderswan. And first, let's go ahead and refresh the terminals. Okay, that's also another feature that's going to come with, you know, this application. Is you know, sometimes when you're dealing with these tool chains, a lot of cache gets built up. You know, files get corrupted when you're dealing with msys terminals and the msys package. So I created a process that automatically cleans the terminal and resets your terminals as if it were brand new and never used. Okay, so that's pretty much would be a great feature that would be useful to anybody that's looking to get into, you know, developing homebrew games for these old vintage game console systems. Okay, so this is going to take a while. I'm going to pause the video. Oh, okay, it's done. And you're going to see a little window that pops up. Okay, we're going to wait for it. Should show a window soon. Okay, terminal folder has been refreshed. Okay. And another one is going to show up informing me that they're going to delete the old one. Okay, so preparing to delete your previous msys folder. Click yes to finalize the refresh process. Okay, it's going to delete the msys old. Okay, so now we got brand spanking new terminals. Okay, so we'll go ahead and build this toolchain for Wonderswan. Build toolchain.exe. And when you open this terminal, when you see this text up here, that lets you know that your terminals are brand spanking new. It's brand spanking new and has never been touched, like a brand new car. That's what you want. You want brand new terminals when you're about to build up a tool chain, because you don't want any problems, you don't want any errors when you're building up a tool chain, okay? So we're going to close that up. Once you open it and you close it, when you open it again, it's going to be gone. But if you ever want to see this text, lets you know that your terminals are brand new. All you got to do is just run a refresh terminal, okay? So we'll go ahead and close that, and we're going to build up the tool chain for Wonderswan. And again, right now I don't have Wonderswan inside of the app because I've been focusing more on, getting the tool chain set up so that I can make sure that they build correctly and appropriately. Once I get everything situated with the tool chains, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the app and make sure that all the logos are included in this little app right here, and make sure that all the tool chains are able to be executed through this app right here. Okay, it's going to be a little tiny app. This is going to be your command center. This is going to be where you control everything in regards to which tool chains to build up, which tool chains to tear down, which tool chains to purge, when to make clean, when to clean up a directory, when to delete everything out of it. This is your command center right here. Okay, so you got this right here. That's the Wonderswan logo that lets you know that the ROM was created and it passed the build test for the Wonderswan toolchain. Okay, so it passed the test. When you see this little icon right here, the Wonderswan logo, that lets you know that the toolchain is ready to go. Okay, and again, you'll be able to execute these commands, these shell scripts, via this. Okay, all you got to do is just have this little app right here, set it up, choose which one you want, and you just use these buttons right here to set up the toolchain, build the toolchain, test the terminal, set your make file, or set your project directory, make this, you'll build up the project, you could clean the project out, and again, I said I would get rid of this purge button and convert this to the right click here. Okay, and this button right here, which allows you to set up the emulator and ROM, so that when you click that play button, the emulator will play the ROM. Okay, but I got to finish this up. I got to do a couple more things, but this is pretty much what the app's going to be able to do. And this is going to be for more than 10 tool chains. It's going to be for every single vintage game console: Atari, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, etc. Okay, so back to this. We got the Wonderswan toolchain set up. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to go find a sample. Okay, so we'll go to examples, and let's go to basic display, and this is our ROM right here. So what we want to do, we can use Aries to run this little ROM right here. Okay, and this is the ROM, basic display.wsc. We'll drag that over to the emulator, and that's the ROM. Okay, so when you have this terminal here, what you could do, you could also do a make clean and a make and everything, but I don't have all that set up. Oh, actually I do. Okay, so I do have it all set up. Let's run a make clean, and it's going to clean out the directory. Should clean it out. Okay, no such file or directory. Oh, okay, that's why, because I did not set the path of the project, of where the ROM is located. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it again. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit smaller, and we'll go ahead and make clean. Okay, so when you run these make cleans right here, it reads this file right here, which is actually this makefile.path. Okay, this path right here is written when you select your make file, which is this yellow folder right here. Okay, we're going back to this app. When you click on this, this window is going to come up, and this will enable you to choose your make file. Okay, but we're not doing that for Xbox. We're only doing it for Wonderswan. But I don't have Wonderswan set up in here yet. Okay, but when you set that up, it writes it to this document right here, this text document, and it writes the path in this. Okay, so when you run a make or a make clean, what it does is it reads this document right here, and it puts this path inside the terminal when you run a make clean, so that you don't have to keep on going in terminal and copying and pasting all this stuff. It does it automatically for you. Okay, so we'll run a make clean, and what it's going to do, it's going to clean this folder out, this directory, and it's going to auto paste it in there. You see? So it's gone. Okay, we'll run a make now. Okay, and these exes will be executed when you have that Wonderswan icon selected, and when you press the make button or the make clean. Okay, this is really going to simplify the setting up of these tool chains. It's going to simplify it, and it's going to speed it up. Okay, and eventually, if I get done with this and when I release it, I'll probably build a game engine around the 3D game consoles, so that you can build games for the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2. It's going to be an actual game engine with buttons and stuff. I'm thinking about using WX widgets stuff. But okay, so let's go ahead and run a make, and let's get that Wonderswan ROM built up again. Okay, it's a build failure, so I gotta fix that up. Okay, that's not working for some reason. But I don't know. Let's try to test the terminal. Okay, so the testing terminal works, but make clean is not working. Oh, okay, it does work. It didn't. It said build failed last time, didn't it? It said build failure. Okay, so all right, let's try make again. I probably just got to go and tweak the code or something like that. It's gonna make it. No, it's not making it. Okay, so I got to go ahead and fix it up and everything. But building the tool chain does work. See, it works. Okay, so I just probably got to go and tweak the make clean and the make sure adjust the code, make sure it's perfect, make sure it works correctly. Okay, so make clean did work. Let's test make again. Okay, make is not working. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fix that up. We'll get back to that later and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and purge the tool chain now. Again, you can purge the tool chain with this little app right here. And what the purge tool chain does is it reverses the build. It reverses the build toolchain.exe, and it wipes it clean. It wipes it clean as if it never got built in the first place. Okay. So now you can see that it's gone. You can see it's gone. And it also deletes the tool chain as well. So it saves up space on your hard drive. Now, I think I ran the wrong one. Okay, so wait. Purge tool chain. Okay, so let's purge it. Okay. Okay, so it should have deleted this folder right here. Let's try it again. It should delete the Wonderswan Toolchain folder. You know, it's not a perfect app. I'm trying to perfect it and make sure that it all works correctly. But I do come across a lot of bugs and errors and everything. It's still in alpha stages. So this folder should be deleted. I probably got to go and fix it up, make sure that it does a hard delete. Okay, so I'll go ahead and demonstrate building up a different. Okay, that's why it doesn't delete, because it's, you know, like still holding on to something. Maybe it's because the terminal is open. Okay, so let's go purge toolchain. Let's go and try it again. Okay, you see how I was supposed to delete that Wonderswan Toolchain folder? It was supposed to delete it. Okay, it's not working. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and move on, and we'll go ahead and build up the Xbox. I'll show you what building the Xbox toolchain looks like, and let's go on over to Microsoft. Okay, so we're going to Microsoft now, and for the Xbox toolchain, we are using NXDK. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and extract here. We'll wait for this to extract itself, but if you do it, it takes longer when you do it with this application right here, because it does it via the CLI command and it uses the terminal, because it just takes longer. So I'm just pretty much go about using 7-zip to do it. But when you use this app right here, you go ahead and select the icon Xbox, and you would use the green hammer. And what you would do, you would select your operating system right here: Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Click here to select operating system, Windows. And I'm on Windows 8 right here, so I'll go ahead and click proceed. Preparing to build Xbox toolchain for Windows. Do you want to proceed? I would click yes, but right now I'm going to click no, because then it'll start to re-extract it again. Okay, so we have our NXDK toolchain extracted right now. Okay, and let's say, for example, we want to build a sample. Okay, so if you're having this app on your desktop somewhere, what you would want to do is you would use these buttons right here. First, you would go and click that folder, and you would set your makefile or the project that you want to build. Let's say, for example, we want to get a Nihi example going on. Let's say sample number 2. Okay, we want to see these little squares spinning around in the emulator and everything. Okay, so we would go ahead and set this up so that we can build that specific makefile. Okay, so we'll go to sample 2, and we will find the makefile. Okay, and you see that the path is printed out right there. Okay, so we'll click OK, and that's not even, it's not written or anything like that. Okay, so I'll go and close it, and the path should be okay. So there it is. It is updated right there. Okay, so you have to close it. Make sure that's closed. You're gonna, whatever you do with this, it writes it to that. It writes to the makefile path. Okay, so what you want to do first, we need to build the toolchain. Okay, so when you're building the toolchain, you just want to go and refresh terminals. We want brand new terminals. We want brand new terminals. Okay, so what I did, I used AutoIt to pretty much swap out the old msys terminal folder with a brand spanking new msys terminal folder, so that whenever you run that refresh terminal button or that refresh terminal exe, you always get fresh terminals. It's like getting a brand new car, and it's like nobody ever drive the car. The terminal's going to be brand spanking new. No bug issues, no corrupted files, no errors. You shouldn't get any errors or anything like that. Okay, the terminal's going to be brand new. Okay, so we'll wait for those windows to come up. to let us know that it has successfully done the folder swap and swapped out the old msys folders. Okay, so there we go. Terminal folder has been refreshed. Click OK. We'll wait for the next window to come up. Okay, preparing to delete folders. Click yes to finalize the refresh process. Click yes. Okay, so now we got some brand new terminals. There you go. Okay, so we got that green text right there. That's good. So we'll go ahead and close this. And we want to build up the toolchain for Xbox. So we'll build toolchain.exe. This is going to take a while. Okay, and if you want, you can just go ahead and skip or fast forward, through this. That's what YouTube is for. Just go ahead and fast forward through it. I'm not going to go ahead and hit any pause buttons. It's not supposed to do that. Oh, okay, that's why, because I'm still in the Wonderswan folder. Oh, man, I forgot to change the Xbox. Okay. Okay, so we'll go to Microsoft. Go to Xbox. And we'll go ahead and build up the toolchain. Oh, let's go and refresh again. I'm sorry. Refresh terminals. Kind of messing up, kind of getting tired, but okay, I'll press Y for yes, and I'll press enter, and it's refreshing the msys terminals. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go back to Wonderswan, and I'm going to purge that toolchain. No, maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's just do things. Let's focus on one thing at a time, okay? AU3, Microsoft, Xbox, and refresh the terminals. Okay, so now we're going to get some brand new terminals after this. If you don't want to watch this text scrolling or anything like that, you just go ahead and fast forward. You could binge watch if you want. But I have to give a demonstration of this application because it's going to wind up being very, very big. It's going to be something that really, really helps people, get started in game development. Not everybody knows about setting up tool chains so that they can make games for Super Nintendo and for GameCube and stuff. Okay, so we'll wait for that window to come up that lets us know that it's complete, the refresh process. Okay, there you go. Terminal folder has been refreshed, and we'll wait for the next window to let us know that it's going to delete the old msys folder. Okay, there we go with that. So we'll click yes for that also. Okay, so now let's get started with building the Xbox toolchain up. Okay, so build toolchain stage 1 and as a stage 2. As I mentioned before, some toolchains will have more than 5 EXEs. Some toolchains will, but most of them have just 5. You only need 5. Okay, so it's extracting the archive for the NXDK. Okay, and this is the toolchain for NXDK right now. Okay, so that's in XDK. Okay, and if you don't want to wait for this, like I said before, just go ahead and fast forward. Use the arrow keys to fast forward through the video. This takes a while. Okay, so sometimes these terminals tend to close prematurely. If it does close prematurely, you'll just have to go ahead and run another attempt to build up the tool chain. It's not a perfect app, and it's still in alpha stages. It's still in like its infant stages, so it does have a lot of bugs and errors. But this is what the whole purpose of it is. The whole purpose of it is to give you access to simplifying the setting up of these tool chains, so that you can build ROMs and emulate ROMs and games for these old game console systems like Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis. Okay. A lot of people don't make homebrew games for these game console systems because they didn't know anything about setting up the tool chains and getting the tool chains running. So this whole app is going to come with all the tool chains, and with just a couple of clicks and a couple of buttons being clicked, the tool chains will be set up for you within minutes. It's going to be a really, really helpful tool for those who want to, get into the games industry and, dip their toes into getting started with programming video games, whether it be games for Sega or games for Super Nintendo or even GameCube or Xbox 360. Give you a little explanation of what's going on. Okay, so when you run these build toolchain, these EXEs, what they're actually doing is these EXEs are created with AutoIt. Okay, and the AutoIt are these little files right here, .au3. Okay, these are little script files that can be converted to EXEs, and it automates your computer so that you can program these AutoIt scripts to open up a terminal or to open up an application. You could program these EXEs to type inside a terminal or to paste text inside a terminal. You can automate your computer to do keystrokes, like you can automate your computer to press enter or to press escape or to close out an application. Okay, so that's what I use to automate all of this. Okay, and when these are converted into EXEs, what they do is they open up the terminal, the correct terminal for the correct tool chain, and it runs one of these scripts right here. It runs the script for the build tool chain, and each script has its own set of shell scripts. Okay, so for building tool chain, it runs stage 1 and stage 2, and for make it runs the make.sh. For make clean, it runs the make clean.sh. If you want to just test the terminal, it runs the test terminal.sh. Okay, and each toolchain is going to have these exe files, which is created by the autoit, which is a .au3 file. Okay, so this is pretty much this is autoit right here. That's the website. Pretty much, if you're interested, you can go and check it out. But that's what I'm using to automate this whole process of setting up the toolchain. It's definitely a helpful tool because again, if you're new to terminals and if you're new to homebrew, if you don't know, if you always wanted to wonder how, you've always wondered how to make games for these console systems that are gatekept by these corporations like Sony and Nintendo, but you don't know how to get your games on those console systems, these companies use toolchains. They use toolchains. These toolchains enable you to program graphics for the processor inside these game systems. Okay, the processor on the motherboard might be a SH2 processor, emotion engine processor for the PlayStation, or it might be a MIPS processor, a MIPS compiler for the regular PlayStation 1. Okay, but that's pretty much what it is. Okay, these are tool chains, and these tool chains are required if you want your code to run on these game console systems, or even let alone the emulator. Okay, so this is pretty much what the process is, and this is still taking a while. Like I said before, if you don't want to wait through the text scrolling and you don't want to wait through the building of the toolchain, just go ahead and fast forward and press forward until we actually get to the demonstration of running a ROM on the emulator. That's the good stuff. That's the good part. You can see it kind of takes a while to get the whole toolchain built up. And PlayStation 2 is just ridiculous. I mean, PlayStation 2 and 32X, the Sega Genesis 32X, PlayStation 2 takes about 4 hours to build. Okay, and you need Linux for that. You need Windows subsystem for Linux, or you need a Linux terminal like on Linux Mint, or you need Ubuntu or Fedora, or you need Kali Linux for PlayStation 2. Okay, PlayStation 2 won't build with msys. Okay, and you also need Linux and Windows subsystem for Linux for the 32X also. Okay, so 32X toolchain will take about like 2 hours and 30 minutes. I've built that before. That takes 2 hours and 30 minutes approximately. But the PlayStation 2 takes the longest. PlayStation 2 takes about 4 hours. Okay, and I already did a tutorial on building the PlayStation 2 toolchain. I'll actually show you guys that. Okay, you can actually see the tutorials right here. This is the PlayStation 2 toolchain tutorial being built up on the Linux Mint.
And put it in there.
Okay, and in the end you can see that the square is actually running in the emulator.
The cube work.
Okay, so that's what this is all about. You know, this is actually going to take a while, so I am going to actually go ahead and utilize that pause button. And I'll unpause it when it's done. Okay, so it does show here the Xbox toolchain has passed the build test and generated an ISO. Okay, it says press enter to continue. Okay, so we will go and find our default XBE. Go into samples. Which one is it? Default PBGL sample 2. Okay, so that's Nihi sample 2. And it does show here we have a PBGL sample 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it out in the emulator, our Xbox emulator. In this case, we use Xemu. Okay. And we will go into load disk. We'll put our path in there, and there's our ROM. Control R. And there you go. That's the sample. Okay, so that's pretty much how you go about building up the Xbox toolchain. Okay, so let's go ahead and try and run some of these other EXEs. We're dealing with the sample 2 Nihi, which says right there. And so let's go ahead and try a make clean to check, see if it cleans it out. So once the toolchain is built, everything should work. Okay, cleaning up now. Cleaning completed successfully. Okay, so it works. Let's see if we can make it again. You know, let's go ahead and stop that and cancel it. And let's try and use this app instead, okay? Like I said before, this app is what's going to be your control panel to control the execution, the running, and the launching of these EXEs right here, okay? Okay, so we got Xbox selected. Let's go ahead and test the terminal. The terminal is working, of course, because we, of course, just built the whole tool chain up. Okay, it gives you your system specifications right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and run a make. We shouldn't have any problems. Commencing build. Sagatech purging all. ISO files and all reports. Checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint. Okay, and it's building the ROM up. Okay? That's what this app is for. That's what this app is going to be doing. This app is going to be your controller base or your main station for building and destroying, building up these tool chains and tearing down these tool chains, making the ROMs and cleaning out the ROMs, testing the terminal. Okay, that's what this app is going to do, and this is going to be for all these console systems right here. It's going to be for all these console systems right here. 32X is not in there yet, but it will be in there. So is PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, all this stuff. Okay, you see my Dreamcast tutorial video that I made? It takes 2 hours to set up the toolchain. Downloading, dragging and dropping, placing the files in the correct location. With this app right here that I'm building, it makes everything easier, and it simplifies the whole process, and it also enables you to do it in a shorter amount of time because everything is already downloaded. Okay, there we go. So it's built. Everything is built. Cleaning up now. Okay, so it's done. When you got those little purple letters down there, that means it's done. And there's your Sagatech ISO.ISO for Xbox. And I already showed you, but we'll run it again. Click OK. Machine. Load disk. The Sagatech ISO right there. Control R to restart it. And the ROM is working. Should work. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's how you make Xbox ROMs for the original Xbox, okay? So we'll go ahead and run and make clean to clean it out. Okay, I should have just used the app right here. Okay, when you click the little water drop tool, that means you want to clean it out or make clean. The app is going to work. It's just got a lot more work to do. But once I release it, you know, hopefully there's not going to be any bugs, okay? Okay, we got other samples here. That's what this one looks like. I won't build it. Okay, this is what this one looks like right here. Sample 5, that's what sample 5 looks like right there. Sample 6, I don't think I was able to build sample 6, but the toolchain did build up successfully so that you can get these samples built right here. Okay? Those are 3D samples. Okay? Let's go ahead and do the mesh. Mesh is a complicated one. Okay? So, we'll go ahead and click on this one, and we'll go ahead and select that sample right there, the mesh, and we're looking for the make file for it. So that's the make file. Click open and click OK, and we'll go ahead and close that, and now you can see we're in the mesh sample right there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that so we don't have any issues. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click this make button right here. It's probably going to be a different logo when I actually finally release the app. But these are just placeholder graphics right now. These are just placeholder graphics. Okay, when I get this actually built up and established, I do plan to build a game engine around all of these tool chains, like a 3D game engine that could be used for multiple game systems. Okay, so it's just going to be one game engine, and you could build levels for any single game console you want, as long as you have the tool chains built with this, and as long as you're able to build the ROMs. Okay, so you run that game engine that I build. Hopefully, I'll be able to build it, and you can pick and choose which console you want to make levels for and make games for. Let's say you want to make games for PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. As long as you're able to build the tool chain, that game engine will be able to will enable you to build levels and build games for that game console system. It's just going to be one game engine, and you'll be able to build levels for whichever console you want with that exact same game engine. You won't have to change or swap out game engines just to change game console systems that you want to develop for. Okay, we'll go ahead and get this emulator running right now. Okay, so you can see XBE created. Okay, we'll load up the disk. Okay, it does show here that there is a ROM in there, so we'll go ahead and get that path. We'll let this do its thing. It's cleaning it up. Okay, and there's the ROM right there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run that. Control R. And there's the mesh right there. Okay, so this is the tool chain for Xbox, the original Xbox. Okay, you could get this 3D rendered. You could probably render other 3D meshes. I'll definitely think about making a importer so it can import OBJs or convert your OBJs into a .h or a .cpp so that it can be read by the Xbox. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear that out. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Okay, so we'll click Make Clean. Okay, you know what, as a matter of fact, no. Aw, I didn't want to do that. Okay, oh well. Alright, so let's go ahead and try a different tool chain now. Let's go ahead and try the Xbox 360. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a purge the tool chain for this one. Okay, warning, this action will delete the NXDK toolchain folder. If you have any projects in that folder, please save them to a safe location before proceeding. Do you want to proceed with this purge? Click yes. And it didn't open the terminal. Okay, so it's frozen, I guess. Okay, the app froze, it looks like it. It looked like it froze. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose Xbox and purge the toolchain. Okay, a little bug there, but that's okay. Like I said, it's in infant stages. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get that fixed up. Gonna go ahead and delete that manually. And let's go and build up the Xbox 360 samples. Okay, so for Xbox 360, you will need Visual Studio 2010 Ultimate installed. Okay. And I didn't actually set up the Xbox 360 yet. That's the thing about programming. You never know when you're going to come across a bug or something like that, okay? So you go ahead and build, choose which one we want to build for. Let's go ahead and try to build, I don't know, the Dolphin. Okay, and we'll run a build. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. It was working before. Current working directly does not contain a project or solution file. Okay, but it does. It's right there. Okay, so just give me a minute and let me pause it and see what's going on. Okay, that's what the problem was. I was running the wrong build exe. Okay, so we're in the Xbox 360 samples folder. We'll go into Dolphin and we will run the build exe. Okay, and it says build succeeded right there. Okay, and let's go in our debug folder and look for our XEX, which is right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it in a Xenia emulator. And that's our path. Change it to XEX so we can find it easier. And that's our toolchain for the Xbox 360. Okay, now there are many more samples that we can use, that we can build. Pretty much will it make clean work? No, it doesn't work. Okay, so if we want to clean it up or get rid of it, you just got to go in there and debug it. I mean, delete the debug folder. Okay. So let's go ahead and check out another sample. Let me go ahead and pause it until I figure out which sample I want to build. No, I won't build another sample. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you or demonstrate to you the other tool chain that I want to build up. Okay, so that's pretty much how you go about building up an Xbox 360 sample with this application. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up this application so that you can set up these tool chains super easy. Super easy. Okay, so let me go ahead and clean up the Dolphin. I did delete the Dolphin folder, I think. Debug. Yeah, I did delete it. Okay, let's go and build up the next demonstration. Let's go and check out GameCube now. Okay, so that's Nintendo right here. GameCube. It's GameCube toolchain. Go ahead and delete it so we can start from scratch. This is GameCube logo right there. And I don't think I set it up in the app yet. No, it's not set up for GameCube yet. Okay, so we'll just have to go about using the EXEs manually. Nintendo, GameCube. Oh, I thought I had 5 EXEs for this one. No, okay, so I got to go ahead and make the EXEs for that one also, for the build toolchain and all that stuff. Okay, so I'll have to execute them manually. Okay, so I'm going to have to build it up before we actually go and try to okay, so this is the terminal. Okay, no, I'm sorry. We got to extract it first. Alright, so it's extracting. And that's why those shortcuts right here weren't working, because I deleted the GameCube toolchain folder. Because in this one, when it comes to the GameCube toolchain, it comes with its own msys. Okay, so if the archive is not extracted, then you're gonna have problems. It's not gonna work, because msys is actually inside this folder right here. Yep, that's where it is. msys right there. Okay, so this is the msys that we're going to be using. Okay, but for the other tool chains, they use a different msys version, which is actually located right here. msys. Okay, so GameCube comes with its own msys, but for all the other tool chains, this is the msys that you'll be using right here. All right. So like I said before, all the downtime, you could just fast forward, or skip through it. You don't have to wait. But I'm going to do my best not to use the pause button so much. So if you just want to go ahead and skip through the video and get to the good stuff, get to the steak and potatoes and watch the good stuff, that's up to you. Okay, so that's done. And we're going to go ahead and build this tool chain up for the GameCube now. Okay, so again, like I said before, this is the app that we're going to be using. I still got a lot of programming to do for it, but right now GameCube is not set up. I had Xbox set up, and I think I had Nintendo 64 set up also, but GameCube is not set up yet. Okay, so we got to go about doing things manually inside of its exe folder. Okay, so we got to build the tool chain. We got to build it with the purple msys. Oh, let's refresh terminals first. Okay, refresh terminals is going to be a feature that comes with this application. Okay, whenever your terminals get corrupted, or whenever your terminals start to give you, annoying errors, or your terminals stop working, and you start getting these unnecessary errors, you always want to refresh the terminals. And that feature is definitely going to come with this whole application right here. Just be able to refresh the terminals in a click of 2 buttons or 3 buttons, and you'll have brand spanking new terminals again. Okay, so we'll wait for that little window to pop up to let us know that the process is complete. Okay, there you go. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, delete that. And no, we don't want to do that. I'm sorry. We want to build toolchain for GameCube. Okay, so now we're building toolchain for GameCube. So this is going to take a while. I'm not going to pause it. If you want to fast forward to it, you can do that. Okay, so sometimes, this app is not perfect. It has a tendency to close the terminals prematurely. Just go ahead and try and run it again. Okay, perfect. So now that we have the little GameCube logo here, I do plan to make this look a little bit better. But right now, that's just a placeholder. But when you get the GameCube logo here, that lets you know that the toolchain is built. We'll head on over to check to see which ROM it built up. And usually in this case, it is, no, not that emulator. Okay, so we just need to go and find our samples. Examples. We'll go down to GameCube right here. And we'll go down to 3D sample 5. And in there you have a .dol file. Okay, so we want to run our emulator right here. Get our path. Open. And there's our DAW file right there. And there's our ROM. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get another one. Examples, 3D sample 5. I think there was some Nihi examples. But I can't seem to find them right now. Okay, DevKit Pro, examples, GameCube, graphics, GX, Nihi GX. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run this one also. Okay, and that's pretty much the same example that we ran for Xbox, but it's just running on GameCube. You see how, like, you could take whichever code you want, and you could just choose to port it to whichever game console system that you want to port it to. As long as you have these tool chains, okay? And these tool chains are going to come with this app right here. And this app is going to, like I said before, it's going to simplify the process of setting up the tool chains. All you got to do is click a couple of buttons, and boom, you're making games for Super Nintendo, or boom, you're making games for Xbox. Okay? It's going to simplify everything and make everything super duper easy. Okay? Alright, so let's check to see if a make clean will work. Let's run a make clean. Target command prompt not found. Action automation halted. Okay, it's not working. Okay. So that's not working, so let's go ahead and move on to a different tool chain. Okay, so we're going to do Dreamcast now. Xbox 360, we'll go to Sega Genesis. We'll set up Dreamcast. And we'll wait for this to extract. If you want, you can fast forward. You don't have to sit through it. Fast forward to get to the good stuff. Doing my best not to toggle the pause button on and off. Do the buttons work for Dreamcast? I didn't program them. No, I didn't program Dreamcast buttons yet. Okay, so that's done. Let's go ahead and build up the toolchain for Dreamcast now. Sega Dreamcast toolchain is now built. Okay, it's a nihi05.elf. Okay, let's go and check it out. GLDC samples, and that's not where they are. Okay, Callisti OS. Okay, and we go into examples, Dreamcast. Okay, we go into GLDC, Nihi, and we should have an elf in one of these. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the one that we have. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that path right there. Okay, and let's go ahead and run a test to see if our make and our make clean works. Okay, and it does work. Okay, so let's test to see if our make works. It looks like it works because we have a Sagatech CDI.CDI. Okay, so it does work. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a little test. And here's our emulator right there. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and drag and drop right there like so. And there you go. Okay, so this toolchain right here is definitely going to be able to simplify everything, the setting up of toolchains. It's going to make everything super duper easy. Okay, let's go ahead and make clean that folder or that directory. Okay, it cleans it out like it should. I'm going to close this because we're not using it anymore. Let's go and get another sample built up. I don't know, that one doesn't look so exciting right there. Okay, you want to see this one? Okay, this is number 6. Okay, and we will clean it out first, and then we're going to make after it's cleaned out. Okay, let's run a make. Okay, so it doesn't look like it has a Sagatech.iso generated, but there is an elf file there. Should have an ISO, a Sagatech ISO. I don't know why it didn't show up. Okay, so it's not showing up. Let's just run the elf. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay. But it should rename it Sagatech.iso. I don't know why it's not renaming it. Okay, so let's go ahead and try number 8. Let's go ahead and clean it out. And we'll go ahead and run a make. Maybe it'll work on this one. Okay, it's not making the Sagatech ISO for some reason. Okay, but Toolchain is working. Okay, so maybe I need to go and fix the make a little bit. Okay, so that's testing the terminal. We do know our terminals are working. This is Dreamcast logo. It should be a Dreamcast logo. Alright, so that's our Dreamcast toolchain. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to building up the Sega Saturn now. I'll show you a little something about the Sega Saturn. Okay, so that's the Dreamcast toolchain. We're going to go ahead and purge that. And while that's deleting, we're going to find our way over to the Sega Saturn. Okay, and this one, the toolchain this is called the libyaw toolchain. I'm going to extract here and wait for it. Is it done? Okay, that's the one. Extract the wrong folder. Okay. Okay, so now our toolchain is fully extracted. So what we want to do now, we just want to build up the toolchain for the Sega Saturn and make sure everything is working properly. Okay, so you got V, the balls, and that's pretty much what it looks like when the toolchain is successfully built for the Sega Saturn. Okay, so when you see this, that's good news. Okay, you see the little Sega logo and the Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what's going on. You know what this is about. When you see Sonic the Hedgehog, you know it's time to go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and find that sample that was built. Okay, VDP1 balls. Right, so let's go and get it. Okay, and that's our sample right here. File, open ISO, and we will run to see what this one looks like, and that's pretty much what it looks like. Okay, I don't know what keys or how to play with the keyboard and stuff like that. Oh, okay. I had to pick up my controller. Okay, so you could pretty much increase the amount of balls, decrease the amount of balls with A and B and stuff like that. Okay, so that's a sample for the Sega Saturn. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can build another sample. Okay, so let's make clean this sample right here. It's going to clean it out. Okay, it should be cleaned out. It is definitely cleaned out. Okay, and we're going to build a different sample now. Okay, this one right here is my favorite. Really like this one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make this one. Okay, and there you go. Success. An ISO has been spawned. Okay, so let's go ahead and open the ISO up. And there you go. It's pretty cool, huh? So this is pretty much how you go about setting up tool chains. You'll be able to achieve this with such simplicity with this application that I'm building, the Vintage Gaming Console Compiler. Okay, think about making it open source. Definitely going to be free. It's a lot of work that I need to do with it. You know, it's really buggy. It's got a lot of bugs. It's still in infant stages. It does have bugs. I will be fixing it. Okay, I'm not releasing it like this. I'm going to make sure that it works, and I'm going to definitely make sure it works on many operating systems. Okay, so we're going to make it clean, and we're going to clean it out. And you're going to see the ISOs disappear. Okay, there we go. So it's clean now. Okay, so it's all cleaned up. All right, so let's move on to the Neo Geo Pocket. I wanted to show you that one. Saturn. We'll Alt F4 this window right there. And we're going to delete y'all. Purge the toolchain. Let's see if that purge toolchain works. Okay, toolchain purge complete. Alt F4. Okay, so we purged that. All right, so let's go to Neo Geo Pocket. Okay, the Neo Geo Pocket was working. Okay, so SNK, Neo Geo Pocket, build toolchain. Let's go ahead and get that one. Okay, and we need the UCRT for this. We're going to build this toolchain up. Since it asks us something here. Okay, I'll put no. Binary tools, BizHawk, JSON, rename. Capital N. Okay, so it says build success. Okay, we do have our Geo Pocket toolchain right there built up. So let's go ahead and test that ROM out. That's our emulator. What am I doing? Okay, so we'll do a bin. And that's where our ROM is right there. So, okay, so we'll go in game, load ROM, and NGP is the ROM. Hello, NGPC developer. Okay. So let's delete it. And make sure it can build it again. I'm going to actually pause it this time. As you can see that I deleted the ROMs. Definitely want to test it out and run it to make sure that when you build the toolchain, because I set the toolchains up so when you build toolchain, it automatically makes clean the environment, and then it builds the ROM. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. Okay, and we should be almost done now. Okay, so if the toolchain builds successfully, you'll see everything show up here in this folder, in the bin folder. This is for the Geo Pocket. Okay, there we go with the ABS file. The S24 and the NGP ROM right there. Okay, so it does build successfully. It's making clean. It's cleaning it out. And it's making it again. It's cleaning it out. And it's going to make it again. Cleans it out. And it's going to make it again. Okay, build success. Okay, so our Geo Pocket toolchain does work. And it will be working with this application once I get all the toolchains built up, you know, trying to figure out over 10 toolchains, 15, 20 toolchains for video game console systems ranging back to the 1990s. Okay, and I'm going to get all these toolchains to work in this one little application right here. Okay, so we're going to purge the toolchain. Do I need to purge the toolchain? No, I didn't even set these up yet. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and delete that for now. So our Geo Pocket toolchain is working. Alright, let's go ahead and build up Super Nintendo. Let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, I forgot Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 is also a 3D game console system. Okay, that's already built up. Okay, so we'll go to Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and we want to purge the tool chain. See, Nintendo 64 takes a while. It kind of takes long, just like the PlayStation 2. So I'm going to pause this one. Oh, there we go. Checkpoint 11 of 18. So I'm glad I put the checkpoints in. So when it's making progress, it actually echoes to the terminal which checkpoint you're on. And as I mentioned before, you could just go ahead and fast forward it. You could use the arrow keys to fast forward to the good stuff. Okay, checkpoint 12, reversal, tiny 3D build artifacts purged. checkpoint 13. Okay. Okay, and it looks like we're done with the purge. So now, what we need to do is build the tool chain up. I'm going to wait for it to enter the text and wait for it to start to scroll. Okay, so now it's extracting that N64 toolchain 7Z right there, as you can see. And now we need to wait for this because I wanted to clean it up. Oh, you know what? Sorry. I will do a refresh terminal. I'm going to refresh the terminal because I want some brand spanking new terminals before I start to build this tool chain up. Because I don't want any errors. I don't want any problems. Go ahead and fast forward. Okay, we're going to wait for that window to pop up to let us know that it went through and it was successful with the refreshing of the terminals. Okay. Wait for the next window. You'll click yes for that one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and build the tool chain for a Nintendo 64. See green text up there. Lets you know you got some brand new terminals. I love seeing that green text. It's a very beautiful color. Oh my goodness. You closed prematurely. You're going to have to start all over. You're going to have to start all over. See, sometimes these things be closing prematurely. You're just going to have to start all over with it.
Project for physics tests. I can show you where to get this later on, but you can see it's very straightforward. This is 2D physics in Godot. And this is using the built-in standard physics layer and so on. So now what I'm going to do is show you how you can start with Rapier. So Rapier is available in 4 different forms. You go here to the asset library and you search for Rapier, like so, and what you'll find is there are these 4 options. By the way, they are all open source, MIT licensed, and what you're going to notice is there is a 3D and a 2D version. The 3D version, and honestly, in the world now where we have jolt physics, etc., I don't see a lot of point for it, especially because it is a much less developed solution. But 2D is definitely worth considering check out because it basically performs better than the built-in physics. So if you're finding some issues with Godot's built-in 2D physics, you may appreciate what Rapier brings to the table. On top of that, you also have the fluid stuff, which I will show you later on. So you got these 2 options. This is the slower cross-platform version, and this one is the speedy version, which we're going to go ahead and try today. If you're making this for mobile or something, it may not work for you. That's what the major difference you're going to find there is. And this is a GD extension. So basically, it installs, it is now available. So what you do is come on up here to the physics, go to the physics category, go to 2D, and you're going to notice under physics engines, well, this is a drop-in replacement. So now instead of using Godot physics, which is the default, I can switch that over to Rapier physics. This will require a restart, however. So boom, let's go ahead and do that restart. And now what you're going to see, go back to 2D, this is now being simulated and run by Rapier instead of the Godot physics. And like I said, it's a literal drop-in replacement. So I come in here, I'll pick the same stack, and then pyramids, and then boom. And then there are some advantages to it over the built-in, at least according to the Rapier team. And we'll get that when we go check out the website in just a sec. But it gives you an idea of what this is capable of. And that basically
Okay, here we go. So it's one of the attempts of trying to build up the ROM so we can verify if it can pass the build test to verify if the tool chain is ready to go. Okay, we start seeing these attempts right here, attempt 4, attempt 5, that lets you know it's going to build the ROM now. You can see T3D model, HD IMG. Alright, so it's attempting to build the ROM. Okay, so we got the little Nintendo 64 logo here. That's good news. That lets you know that the ROM is built successfully and that the toolchain is ready. So this is just a placeholder for the Nintendo 64 logo. I'm going to go ahead and beautify this up later on, like when I'm more, when I get to the point where I'm ready to ship it, or when I get finished with, confirming and verifying that these toolchains build with no problems, and with, once I figure out that this app is working and there's no bugs or any problems with it. Okay, so that's the Nintendo 64 logo. Let's go ahead and check to see which sample it built. Let's go ahead and find a sample. We will go in samples. We will go down to Tiny 3D examples, and we're going to go down to Big Text 22, and we see our Z64 file in there. So we're going to go ahead and launch that, make sure it actually works. And it works. Okay, so the tool chain is successfully built. Okay. So let's go ahead and test the make and the make clean. Make clean is going to clean it out. Oop, okay, I forgot to change the path. Okay, so let's try it again. There we go. Okay, it did clean it out. Okay, so it left a little dot pack there, but that pack only shows up when you run the ROM with the emulator. Okay. So if you want to actually see what the other samples look like, I actually made a Nintendo 64 tutorial on how to set up this tool chain. And you can see that right here. Okay. This is the actual video of it.
Home, Leslie.
Okay, but I did all this on Linux, and I also demonstrated in the end how to set it up on Windows 10, on Windows 8 as well. Okay, so that's how you build up the tool chain for the Nintendo 64 with this app. Okay, again, I have to go ahead and program this app up, and I also have to make sure the tool chains are building correctly and building successfully. Okay, so let's go ahead and run a test again to make sure that it can actually build the ROM. Let's run a make. See, these EXEs are going to be your holy grails. If you don't have these EXEs, you're not building nothing. C32 Big Tech Z64. Okay, and it named it to Sagatech Z64.Z64. Okay, let's run and make clean. And it cleans it out. Okay, and it also closes the terminal. Okay, let's test the terminal. Okay, why is it doing that? Didn't I do test terminal? Okay, it's not doing the correct one. So okay, so I gotta go and fix the EXEs. Okay, so testing terminal should work. And this is what it looks like when you test the terminal. Okay, and we also got a little Pyrite editor going on. Okay, we could open up a project here. Okay, if we go and find our Pyrite right here. I also have Pyrite set up also. So when I ship it, I'm going to be shipping Pyrite with it. Open project. Go to that. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually play it. Okay, it's not playing. Okay, Big Tech Z64. Okay, there's the Z64 file. Okay, so yeah. Okay, it works though. So we'll go ahead and close that out. All right, so those are pretty much our 3D our tool chains for the 3D video game consoles that we had. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we could get a 2D gaming console built up, like Super Nintendo or something like that. Okay, I really like Super Nintendo. Okay, so Super Nintendo right there, right near Nintendo 64. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh the terminals for this. Okay, so it's refreshed. And we'll wait for the next window to come up. let us know that it's finalizing the refreshing of the terminals. Okay, so PVS and ESLib. Go ahead and extract that with 7Z. Okay, and we're going to build this tool chain. We got our brand new terminals right there. And this shouldn't take long, because this is just 2D video games, not 3D. Okay, close prematurely, that's okay. We'll go ahead and try it again. Okay, so it looks like it was successful. Okay, we got a hello world, and we got a logo for the Super Nintendo. Okay, so let's go ahead and find our ROM SNES examples, and there's our hello world in here. Okay, so we're working with this now, so we'll go ahead and do the emulator for it, and we want to launch the SFC file. Okay, and that's our example running right there. Okay, there you go, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and make clean it out. Okay, so it's cleaned out. Let's see if we can make it again. Okay, and we can make it again. Okay, you see now when you run a make, it names it Sagatech SFC.SFC. Okay, so you can identify the ROM easier. Okay, so there you go. So we'll go ahead and clean that out. Okay, and it's clean. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and find a sample that I really do like. I like the way it sounds and stuff. We'll go ahead and build this one up. And we will go ahead and first clean this one out. Make sure it's cleaned out. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and make it and build it up. Okay, success, a ROM has spawned. Okay, you got Sagatech sfc.sfc. We'll go ahead and run it. Okay, sounds great. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make clean. And we're going to purge this tool chain after this. Now, it lets you know that the Super Nintendo tool chain is working and it can build. We'll try to test terminal exe. It's buggy, man. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let's try it again, see if it fixes it up. Yeah, okay, it's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be all blue, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so we'll go ahead and purge this tool chain because we know that we can build ROMs with it now. Your location still can't be found. It might have been moved or deleted. Okay, that's why, because it deleted the folder. Okay. It did delete the folder. Okay, and I programmed it to do that. Okay. Alright, let's go and oh no, let's try Sega Genesis. Okay, we're focusing on the 2D ones now. Okay, so we're going to build up toolchain for Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis. And let's refresh the terminals. Love to have fresh terminals when I'm rebuilding a toolchain. Okay, we'll wait for those windows to come up. It's swapping out the old one for the new one. Just gotta wait for it. Okay, terminal folder has been refreshed. Okay, and wait for the next window to let you know that it's going to delete the old msys folder. Okay, click yes. Preparing to delete your previous msys folder. Click yes. Okay, so let's build the Sega Genesis toolchain now. Boom. Build toolchain. Okay, that was fast for the Sega Genesis. Okay, we got the little Sega icon going on here with Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, and it says we have a ROM in SGDK bin. Okay, where is that at? Okay, we gotta go find it. Sample. Give me a minute, let me put this on pause and let me find the ROM. Okay, so we gotta go find the ROM. Where is it? No, it's not that. Basics, I think it's Hello World, out, release. Okay, this might be it. Okay, that's a Hello World ROM. Okay, let's go and clean this one out. Okay, we're gonna clean that one. You can see it gets rid of the out folder. Okay, so the Sega Genesis toolchain is working. Demo, beta. We got a couple of demos here. We got a game, Sonic game. Okay, we can actually build this up. Let's try and build this one. We will make this one. Okay, and that's what we want to see. We want to see that green right there. Message from Sagatech. The ROM has spawned. Okay, so we go in our out folder, release, and our Sagatech underscore bin is the ROM. So we want to run that in the emulator, of course. So, I'll let you know that Sega Genesis toolchain is working. You could build Sega Genesis games. Okay, so we're going to clean that directory now. You can see it gives you a little build successful text right there. Whenever it successfully builds that ROM. Okay, and it gives you information. I included this in the .sh file right there, so you could get a little bit more information about your build. Okay, so the Sega Genesis toolchain does work. Okay, so let's purge the tool chain now. It should delete the SGDK folder. Yep, it does purge it. And it does let you know where the text document needs to be built. Okay? So I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else I want to do or anything else I want to show in this video? I think I built them all up. There's still some tool chains I need to go about figuring out how to build. Some tool chains we can't build on Windows 8 because you need Linux for it. And I'm not going to demonstrate how to build those tool chains in this video right here. You need PS Vita and PS2 and 32X. Oh, okay. PS3. We can do PS3. So I'll go ahead and show that one too. Sony. And we could do PS3. Okay, so let's go ahead and build up toolchain for Sony PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 won't take long. PlayStation 3, I mean. Okay, so we don't really need to refresh our terminals for this one because this has its own terminal when it comes to building up the toolchain for PlayStation 3. Okay, there you go. It's going to start to extract that folder. That's the folder that it's extracting right there. That's the toolchain folder. Okay, so it passed the test for the PlayStation 3 building environment. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test a sample. And we find our sample in this folder right here. These are samples, samples sphere 3D. Okay, and this is where our samples are located. Okay, so let's go ahead and set it up. Okay, and that's our PlayStation 3 emulator. It's not working for some reason. Let me try it again. It will open. Okay. Okay, do you want to update? No. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open. We will find our ROM. Oh, that's not it. Boot self. Is that what we need to do? Okay, there's self. Okay, it's not working. Okay, file. Click no. Boot self. What was it? File boot self. It should work. And let me try the elf. Maybe the elf will work. Okay, no, it's not working. Boot self, boot elf. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Just give me a minute. I will pause it and see if I get this to work. Okay, so I'm having technical difficulties with PlayStation 3 for some reason. I mean, I can get it to build the ROM, but the ROM is not showing up or playing, okay? You can go to File, Boot Self, Fireworks right here, and it does boot the ROM. I can get the environment to build. It's not showing the ROM for some reason, so. But that's pretty much it for the video, okay? So that's what this tool chain and that's what this app is about. This is about building tool chains, okay? And it speeds up the process. Like I said before, it's still in infant stages. I've got a lot of work to do on it. You know, I got a lot of work to do on it, okay? It's not perfect right now, and when I release it, it's probably still not going to be perfect. But when I release it, for everybody that downloads it and uses it, they'll definitely be able to get back to me with bugs and issues and things that need to be fixed about it, and what I need to do or what I can do to make it more robust and make it more reliable. But right now it's not really reliable, but it's getting there. Okay, and that's what this app is going to be about. It's going to be about setting up tool chains and making things easier in regards to setting up these tool chains for these game console systems, okay? Oh, I forgot to do PlayStation 1. Oh, how could I forget PlayStation 1? Sony PlayStation. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go and find a sample. Okay, so it's extracting the PlayStation 1 archive. PlayStation toolchain successfully built. Locate a makefile and try to build a sample. Okay, so let's test the terminal. That's what we need to do for PlayStation 1. When you build the toolchain, you definitely need to test the terminal first. Okay, so we'll find a sample. I like the Hello FX one. And we will go ahead and run a make. See how easy it is to set up these tool chains with this app? Once I get the app working 100%, those buttons are going to be running these EXEs for you. Okay, so we have our ROM here, the Hello FX PSEXE. Okay, and it changes the name to Sagatech PSEXE. Alright, and we'll go ahead and run it with the emulator. Okay, so we'll do a file. And what is it? Load binary, I think. We'll open it. Start emulation. And there you go. Okay, so let's see what it looks like in DuckStation. Okay, so we want to do a start file, I guess. And that's what it looks like. Okay, so let's try. Are you sure you want to shut down the virtual machine? Yes. Okay, let's try the EPSXE emulator. Okay, file, run PSEXE, all files, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so we can build the PlayStation 1 toolchain. Okay, and everything is all good. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do any more demonstrations. This video is going on about 2 hours and 39 minutes. What I will do in this video, I will include timestamps so that you could just click through the video. You could click through the downtimes so you won't be bored with all the, you know, the black screen building times and stuff like that. And you could just click on the timestamps to see when things are getting played in the emulator, when the ROMs are getting built, and just make it easier for you to navigate the video, the whole video, so that you can actually see what this app really does and what the potential of this app is. Okay, in the meantime, thanks for watching the video, and I look forward to releasing this thing, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done on it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on the tool chains as well, because there are still some things that are not really reliable, but when I release it, hopefully it'll help these people out. It'll help you out if you're interested in making games. Okay, so thanks for watching the video, and talk to you later.